Welcome to T Boys TV. We're back again with another Hat Show, obviously episode 196. Get much closer now to 200. Still haven't proper looked from the top of my head what game that'll be, whether that'll be a preview or a reaction, but obviously we'll see. But we're back from the international break. How are you, Dad?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, mate. You?
Yeah, all good. Looking forward to Luton playing again, even though it's not been the greatest of starts. It's always good to, have the town back and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously we're taking on Millwall, as we all know. I mean, yeah, it's one of them games that is quite draw heavy over the last couple of years, but we'll go through some insights, and this is exactly what I mean. So 7 of the last 10 league meetings between Millwall and Luton have ended as draws, including each of the last 3 in a row. Luton have won 1 of their last 8 league visits to Millwall, drawing 2, losing 5. Last time we won, I remember this game, was obviously the 2-0 under Nathan Jones in September 2021. Cornet scored a brace that game. 2 very good goals, actually, top corner and bottom corner. And it was a very good away win. Given, we draw heavy with them as well, even, around about that time as well, usually. Millwall have completed the fewest passes in the Championship this season, 891, and have the lowest pass accuracy, 70% of any side, with 19% of their passes defined as long passes, the highest ratio in the division. I hate reading this, but it is what it is at the moment. Luton Town have won just 1 their last 21 league games, drawing 5, losing 15. A 2-1 win over Bournemouth in the Premier League in April. The Hatters have just 1 point this season, drawing 1, losing 3. Since 2004-5, the fewest points won by a Championship side in their opening 5 games, having just been relegated from the Premier League, is 1 by Fulham in 2014-15 and Huddersfield in 2019-20. And then Millwall's Ryan Leonard has taken 20 throw-ins that have ended in the opposition's penalty area in the Championship this season, 11 more than any other player in the division. Quite an interesting stat, but it's one of them, innit? But yeah, going into it a bit more. Obviously, Millwall did have quite a slow start as well. By their last game before the international break. Obviously, coming off 3-0 winners against Sheffield Wednesday. And the problem I said it yesterday on the Championship show. I said the problem with Millwall is, especially at the start of the season, is they were conceding a lot. As much as they were scoring quite a lot. Obviously, they lost 3-2 to Watford in the first game, lost 4-3 to Bristol City. Like they can score goals. It's just, for them early on, it was, the manner of the goals they were also conceding. Rob Edwards has confirmed that the 5 first-team players that were on international duty during the break have all returned fit. That is despite Rio Waters coming back with an illness that he's now recovered from, and our number 2 has trained since his return. Victor Moses will be available for selection. Tom Krause, a lot of us thought maybe he'd be, available for this one, but he's not quite ready for this one. But Rob Edwards has said he's chomping at the bit to get involved. Jacob Brown has been training but is not ready to return this weekend, and Hashioka is set to be a week or 2 behind Krause in recovery. So, yeah, out of them, given by that, you expect Hashioka to probably be the last one to come back out of them lot. A bit more on Millwall. Like I say, they won their last game 3-0. The hosts have kept 2 clean sheets in their first 4 Championship games this season, but in the other 2 games have conceded a combined 7 goals against Bristol City and Watford. So, again, that goes back to what I said. Duncan Watmore is the joint top scorer in the EFL Championship with 4 goals to his name, already equaling his total from last season. Last time we met, we did do a watch-along to this one. Obviously, it was a 0-0. It was one of them where, for me, it was a bit... Both teams had good opportunities to win, but it's a bit cagey because, we were both, even though we were more cemented in a playoff place, for them, they were trying to, get in there, which they didn't in the end. And it was one of them. It was on a Friday, another early kickoff. So it was quite an interesting one. I mean, I remember us saying at that game we would take a draw. We both said a draw going into it because of, just we knew that it's one of them places, isn't it? Like I say, with the amount of draws we've got there in recent years. Obviously, it was it was a good point for us in the end, as we know. Officials going into the game will be Josh Smith. 18 yellow cards have been handed out by Smith across his first 5 games of the season. Before the international break, he most recently refereed the Premier League fixture between Brentford and Southampton. We last had a game officiated by him when we drew 1-1 with Wolves in the Premier League. So from memory, I can't really think of too much wrong, but it probably was. Let's be honest. That was a great point for us at that moment. But yeah, that's everything when it comes to that. So quite an interesting one. I mean, obviously we're trying to kickstart. They did get a good win as much as Sheffield Wednesday have been poor since that opening game of the season. But interesting one going into this one, isn't it, Dad?
Yeah. Not great record. We have beaten recently. We're in poor form. I think we obviously be looking to get first win in that, but they've got it's difficult anyway to go there. It always has been. So it's a bit like when teams come to us, right? And they've got a lot of experience all over the pitch. Do you know what I mean? They've got a lot of players that are able to play like Preston did against us, basically just kick us all over the park and slow down the game and things like that. So it is going to be tough. And again, I do expect the three at the back. I do expect pretty much the same, the lineup that played against QPR in the last game. I can't see it being changed. I'd be pleased if it was. I still worry about three at the back. No matter who's at the back, I still worry about that. We're going to see what these 2 weeks have done in that respect, because defensively we've been poor all through pre-season and in the season, really, apart from the Portsmouth game, really. But Portsmouth only just come up. We was 10 men. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes these things happen, but other than that, the goals we've let in have been disgusting, let's be honest. So still we're worried about that. We're going to have probably the same kind of personnel as we did but we'll see. We'll see what they've worked on and see what happens. I think we're good enough to get a result. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Like I say, it's an interesting one. Like I say, we draw heavy. The last 3 have been draws. 2 of them being at Kenilworth Road, 2-2. I was actually at one of them games as well. So yeah, I do like a draw in this fixture. Like I say, and it's one of them where they will have confidence. As much as Sheffield Wednesday haven't been great, like I say, that is a good win. Because their problem was conceding. Early points in the season, but now they got that win. They have confidence. They've got a player who's up there in joint top goal scorer in Watmore, like I said. So the thing for us, there's a few things we need to change. Again, we are going to go for back 3. I can't see it changing, but the thing that I keep saying is we have to change the amount of numbers in midfield. Whether that's 3, 4, or even 5. And I also feel we have to play Morris up front with Elijah. As a 2. Because for me, I just don't know if the other one's, well, it's not working, is it? Really, like you see Elijah's having chances. Morris, because of, he's playing a bit deeper, he's not having them chances. I'm not saying he would have scored them, but, he would be having chances at least a lot more than, he has been. So it's stuff like that. They're the main 2 key points that need to change for me. Because we have seen, as much as it's not working at the moment, it's seen us play back 3, many times, and it's worked. Obviously when we went up, that's what we went with. So it's not like it isn't. It's just one of them where you just need more bodies. Given by what Rob Edwards has said today, Nakamba's not going to play. Whether he's definitely not going to play a full game. He might have a little cameo or whatever, but even then, it doesn't sound likely. So you're going to have to put more players there because Krause is obviously still not available, and you've got no other defensive midfielders. So that's what you're going to have to do there. Obviously, Victor Moses will be available. He won't start. He'll hopefully come on and have a run out there, and then have a good moment and stuff like that. But yeah, just quickly, Dad. Obviously, you haven't been on since then. What did you make of that signing?
Yeah, it's excellent signing. You know, I remember him quite vividly when he played for Wigan, particularly, and Chelsea, and he was playing in like a right wing back position. You know, he was just a baller, running rings around everyone, creating chances. You know, he can play further up on the right. He can play in the wing back. He's happy to do that as well. He can play on the left hand side as well, aka Doughty's position. You know, so at some points you might see them in the change because you have seen Doughty change during games or move over, switch sides. Um, Free, yeah, he's 33. People drag on about aged a lot too much, I think, nowadays because players are a lot fitter than they used to be like 10, 15 years ago and stuff like that. You know, he's a tough lad, he's a strong lad. His CV's immense. You know, he's played for some of the biggest clubs in Europe and that, and Premier League, Liverpool, Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? He's played in the Championship as before. I think it was under Stoke. So he's like the Barkley signing of last season for me. And he's actually got a better CV than Barkley. Yeah, he's a few years older, but and I think that he will bring a hell of a lot to us. I think he's going to be quite immense for us this season. And it's good to see that we've done that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm really pleased. Half expecting one more, maybe. So we've done that before. Was it January when we got Townsend later on? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Maybe it depends where we are. I'd like to see who's going to sign Dele Alli, to be honest. But we needed to cover that position as well. So
yeah, it's like I was saying, wasn't it? When we rated the transfer window, I said the only thing I'm a bit worried about, and it's that we just haven't really replaced Chio in that sense. But now he is that guy that can do that. It's not just Chio, Townsend as well, sort of. And he's got even more experience in my opinion. Like you say, he's been around in Europe, so
he's better than Townsend. He's better than Townsend.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Barring the age, we didn't talk about the age. I think Chio's 27 anyway, but he's better than Chio as well. Let's be honest, he is. So I'm really looking forward to it. Roberto, he says it all the time that players have got to adapt to the way we play, etc., etc. I don't know. Sometimes I just think you need to be a bit more freedom in that. I mean, look at the Taylor situation. Went out on loan to 2 clubs, adapted to the way they played because he had to. You know what I mean? So like, what scored loads of goals. So surely it's not taking that long for him to adapt to the way we play. Give me more chances, mate. Do you know what I mean? That's my thoughts on it as well. And someone with the experience as well of Moses, he should be able to adapt to play for any team. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it to a certain point, but it's not that deep because the way we play at the moment is fucking, getting fucked over by long balls. And you know what I mean? But I'm holding the faith. But if I see more goals being conceded like that, and I'm sorry, it's not going to change.
No,
and we've got a very good squad. We've got a squad easily capable of getting in the playoffs. Easily capable of getting in the playoffs.
Definitely.
But overall that signing is a typical Luton signing. Do you know what I mean? Brilliant. We do that. We do tend to do that, especially with the free transfers. We see who's there at the end of the season and go as high as we can, and we keep getting these quality players in. So, great.
Yeah, no, exactly. For free as well. So a lot of freebies this summer, but to be fair, the other 2 have done well so far, haven't they? Baptiste and Walters. So hopefully he does as well, and I believe he will. Definitely. Like I said on the video I did the other day, I think he bring more to his game than Chio. Take away the experience. I just think he's a bit more versatile and he'll actually be willing to play as a wing back if he has to. Whereas obviously we heard what Townsend, said about Chio, during the international game for England and Ireland. So I don't know. And I just feel we didn't utilise his strengths personally, where, he'll have that experience, Moses, and I think he'll show it in games where he will do that extra thing that Chio didn't quite do in senses of, get the ball and then he cut back. It's like, what are you doing? You're the fastest player. What are you doing, mate? But that's that done for that. Big up to David in the chat. Hope you're both well. As I went to get some food up the Luton. I hope win tomorrow. Otherwise, I might not be able to deal with it. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. I'll tell you what. Yeah, this game, like every game's massive in the Championship, right? But I think because we've had an international break and we've done so much worse than we would have expected going into the season, this game tomorrow is massive. Like we can't. I think if we lose this, it's like I'm not going to say he's under pressure or anything, but it's not good. You know, we have to beat Sheffield Wednesday. Then, like
Yeah,
literally, you can't draw it. For me, you have to win it.
because we're at home, you have to be doing it. Like they're on a poor run of form. You know, they've run. You know, their players ain't as good as us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're playing a certain way at the moment, which is getting them in trouble. We're at home. We should really be. You know, if you're looking to get promoted back up to the Premier League, you got to be beating them.
Mm. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And it's like I say, since the opening game, they've been shocking. I don't even think they've scored a goal, if I'm correct, since that opening game. So, yeah, man, we should definitely be approaching to win that anyway. But yeah, there we go with that. Shout out to Paul in the chat as well. He says, "Good evening, lads. Big up to yourself, mate." But yeah, let's get into the lineups. What we go with. So obviously, I'll start off with mine, like always. So. Yeah, so we expect a back three. You know, we've both said that. But for me, this is how I'm going to go. So I'm going to go Kaminsky in goal, obviously with that. The back three, I'm going to go Mengi, McGuinness and Burke. Now, the reason I don't say Bell is because he's played back-to-back full 90 minutes in Jamaica. You know, yeah, we have that fitness and he's come back well and stuff. I don't know. I just think sometimes you know, when players travel like that, because it's not exactly like, you know, in Europe, I just think, you know, he's not going to be, what's the best way to put it? Not 100%, but like, I just feel, you know, just go with someone who's been you know, in the country a bit longer, sort of thing. When it comes to that, you know, Mengi, oh, I didn't have a great game against QPR, but still, you know, we know he's quality. McGuinness, you paid that money for him, so he has to start for me. And Burke, to be fair, I think Burke's done really well since he's come back. You know, to be honest, I mean, maybe not so great against QPR, but the whole defence wasn't, to be honest. I think the game in the League Cup, he was all right, to be fair. But then again, actually, think about it, he come off, didn't he, at half time against QPR in the league, and he was doing all right up until that moment, actually. So, yeah, last two games he's done really well. So, I'm gonna stick with Burke. Right wing back, I'm gonna put Walters. Obviously, you know, Robert has said he was ill and that, but he's available, you know, and he's been training and that. So put him in. You know, a lot of people so far, best player of the season, you know, he's definitely up there for me. You know, to be fair, for me right now, it's probably out of him and Baptiste, the 2-3 signings as it stands. Doughty on the left, you know, he is going to play. It's just a matter of where does he play. They did release an interview that he done earlier going into this game. And then obviously the midfield, like I say, it sounds like Nakamba's not going to play. He, like I say, he might be on the bench, but I don't know if he'll come on. Or if he does, you know, it will be like towards the later stages. So I'll go with Clark and Baptiste again. And then what I've done is I've put Chong as a cam. I feel, you know, you've got to utilise him there. And then we have to play two up front for me because, like I say, Morris playing deep, it's not working. And I feel, you know, if he's up there with Elijah, it'd be much better. And it'll benefit both of them, I feel, because they'll both be there for the options and stuff. And Chong, you know, he is that guy who feed that pass in and he, you know, he can play as a cam. And I think if we utilise him there, he'll score even more goals this season. Obviously, he's already got off the mark, but he'll have more opportunities, I believe, driving forward. And then even, you know, feeding Morris and Elijah in, you know, as well, for example. So, yeah, that's that. That's my lineup. So again, I know it's technically two in midfield, but it's not at the same time. It's sort of for me, I've gone with like a 5-3-2, but like I've gone with a cam because before that it's been, you know, obviously technically one up front, isn't it, with two behind. So yeah, I feel we should go with that. We've got to play Morris up front with Elijah. I don't want to see him deep because this is
Yeah,
not.
I know what he's saying, like, you know, or it's a 3-4, you know, 1-2, you know, you know, and that's good. I do feel that Morris should be up for up, you know. So We'll see what happens, isn't it?
Do get in your lineups as well in the chat as well. But yeah, we'll move on to your lineup now, Dad. So your lineup going into it. 1 second, let me just get it up. There you go.
So obviously Thomas, Kaminski in goal. Back three, I'll remain with Bell. You know, I do take your point. Now that could happen, and maybe McGuinness will go over that side, and then Burke where McGuinness is. But I think Mengi's going to be in the middle. You know, he is the main guy in the middle. But because we're playing a back three, you know, we're not. I don't feel we're going to play Walters there. You're not signing McGuinness for 10 million and just putting him on a bench. I don't think. Do you know what I mean? You're putting
exactly.
Anderson on the bench, whatever. Do you know what I mean? So I feel he has to start, and that's where the position I can put him in. Really, I know Holmes played in that position. He's a centre back in pre-season, so you're going to stick with that. Doughty, obviously, you know, highest rated player on FIFA. Yeah, in the new one for us. He's going to obviously start on the left. Midfield, because he said the Campers, you know, still coming up to scratch. Krause is out. Walsh, you know, he said, you know, the same sort of stuff. Clark, he got 2 assists last time when we played Millwall. Well, when we beat Millwall, anyway. You know, Baptiste he's been pretty decent for us this season. Walters is fit. Again, he's good. I prefer him in this position anyway, rather than like in that back three. And then I've changed the front kind of three basically to what we normally. I've put Morris up there instead of Elijah. I've put Elijah on the right hand side and then Chong on the left. Because I just think Morris should be the target man. I get Elijah's, you know, he's got the better dribbling skills or whatever, but actually, you know, finishing, he ain't been doing it, is he? So put Morris up there. And Elijah couldn't, you know, he's got the pace. He's played in that position before. You know, in other games I've seen it where he wasn't up front, but Morris was. So, and then we know about Chong. Chong works well with Doughty as well on that side. So, for me, if we're going to persist with the 3 at the back and we're not going to put like 5 in midfield or whatever, then that's what I'd like to see.
Yeah, I mean, I remember last season in the Premier League, at that point, she was saying Morris up front and then Elijah, you know, just behind him if we play like that. And yeah, we need, I mean, yeah, I agree. If we do go with that, I feel we have to put Morris up front because, like I say, like I've said, he's just not getting the service.
Yeah. Also, sorry to interrupt, like the amount of time, like we've seen Elijah when he has been on the right hand side or the left hand side where he cuts it up, makes people, he lands it into the box and sets it up for Morris. I mean, at Wembley, he done it for Clark. You know, absolutely fantastic. I just think he's better on you know in you know, what was it? What is that actual position called? It's not striker, is it? It's like centre forward or whatever, left forward or right forward or whatever. I think he's better there. I think Morris is the target man predominantly. It's frustrating for him just holding the ball up there, looking for. No, it's not working. Put him up front. Or you know, he's the captain at the moment as well. You know, for me, that's putting a lot of pressure on him as well. Because if he starts scoring goals and that, and he's captain, it's a lot easier for him. But yeah, I feel that we should be going like that, and it's, you know, if we keep persisting with the same, and it's not working, I'm sorry, if you adapt or fuck off, like, do you know what I mean? And that sounds harsh, but
nah, it's true. It's true. I've seen loads of Luton fans.
You've got to be seen to be making changes. You've done it in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's got to have a plan B because at this moment in time, we're doing nothing.
You've done it in the Premier League. We tried to sort of play the long ball, the sort of, you know, League One kind of football. You know what I mean? It didn't work. Got exposed, and then we started playing different ways and stuff, and it worked, didn't it? And dropped players as well when they weren't performing. You know, Morris started the first few games, I think, and just weren't doing it. Elijah coming, I think. You know, Elijah was injured in that as well. I get it. The chance will come, but, you know, you've got to mix it up a little bit sometimes. I mean, it works. You know, it's not that deep. It's not a major thing. It's not like you're playing Baptiste up front or something. Do you know what I mean? just the front three need to be switched around, and the defense, you know, like say Baptiste, you know, he's not as defensive as say Nakamba is, but he's a good player. Do you know what I mean? He does bring a bit of them Barkley type passes and stuff like that. Clark we know about, but he's much better going forward. Do you know what I mean? And then other than that, defensively, it just bypasses the midfield because none of them, apart from Walters, no, really. You know what I mean? Doughty's getting better defensively, but come on, man, that's not for him to be doing. An extra man in midfield would help, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
But who just sacrifice it? And the problem is as well, it's the, you know, when I know it's different, but when you play FIFA and that, once you got a certain type of player, haven't you? You can't play them like necessarily in that position, and that's what we kind of got. Like Chong, you know, he's more of a winger, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
You're not playing him in midfield, so you can't play him. And on the bench, you know, we've got Walsh who we're looking after, but then you've only got them sort of two midfielders. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of strangling you a little bit. Like you can change formation sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's one of them when Kraus and Nakamba's back.
Kraus, you've got to be playing him. So where did he fit in 2-man midfield?
Play 3, and then we could go like I don't know,
Clark,
maybe
Clark could be dropped.
We could go with like a. I don't know what it would be actually.
Yeah, it'd be a 3-5-2. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you have the extra man in midfield. So the Chong position would basically gone, and then you'd have Elijah and Morris up front. So someone will lose out in that respect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, for me, Chong could play in the Doughty position as well. I think. But
yeah.
This is why I think that we will stick with this because Moses is coming in. You know, for me, Moses can play in Walter's position. He can play in any of them front 5 positions from all the way around the clock, from Walters to Doughty. He could even probably play up front, but obviously it's not going to happen. But do you know what I mean? He could play in the Elijah position where he is now, Chong position where he is now. But he'll switch between them sides and probably catering for him, won't we, as well? And, you know, it's just frustrating with some of the way like football is now. The snobbery around not like the old school formation. Do you know what I mean? 4-3-3. You do get that sometimes, but 4-4-2, it's just gone. I just think a lot of teams just get, you know, they drop a hell of a lot of points by playing the wrong way. You know what I mean? You should just make yourself hard to break down and make them. You know, Man City know how everyone's trying to copy them, right? But they're the best at it. So that they literally, it's so easy for them to beat because you're trying to copy them, but they know they're better than you, so they just end up bypassing you every single time. I just think you need more bodies in midfield if you're gonna be like that. Because for me, Baptiste and Clark, they're just, you know, they're decent, but they're not.
They're not defensive minded.
Yeah, and like it's just, and then you've got to cater for these other men. Kraus has to play. So, like I said, I'm repeating myself a little bit, but you're gonna have to drop Clark then, isn't it? All make room, and it's just difficult.
Yeah,
this is like the older formations. You know what I
mean? Yeah, right, for sure. But yeah, here's that time. A few people put in theirs already. Score predictions. Like I say, we do draw heavy. But how are you seeing this one going, Dad? Early kickoff.
Part of me thinks that, you know, we're a better team. Well, I know we're a better team, but you know, in respect that last time we not that long ago got that 2-0 win. You know, we had Cornick then as well. You know, there's only 5 players I think that we've got now that played in that game. Something might be, you know, Bell, Burke, I think, Ruddock, Clark, and Elijah. but we've got a poor record away, to be honest. Got me, and we're in poor form, and we're probably going to have the same formation. And they're confident. We should be beating Sheffield Wednesday as well, but they score. Although they've conceded certain goals, they've scored as well. So I'm going to say a draw. Unless we've seen this certain tactics and it's changed and it works at best or whatever. It's same formation, same players, capable of beating them. But I think our first win will come the Sheffield Wednesday game. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
All goals galore. I'll say two of the last 3 have been 2-2 draws. They've been at Kenilworth Road. What tends to be is the ones at Millwall tend to be usually they tend to be less goals compared to the games at Kenilworth Road, but we shall see. As for my score prediction, yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a draw as well. We're still trying to search for that win. I'm on the same wavelength as you. I don't think we'll quite get it this weekend. And Millwall, they are scoring goals as much as they have conceded quite a fair few at the start of the season. They are scoring. So, do you know what though? There's always one game in the Championship that's a 0-0. So I'm going to say it's this one, but I'm going to say it's a good 0-0, entertaining 0-0. But yeah, like last year, sort of like last year's game where both teams had chances to win, but no one quite wins it. I can't see a team winning this game by a 2-goal deficit. If someone wins, I can only see it being by a goal. But yeah, I'm going to say a 0-0 draw, which I guess I probably would take. As much as we're still searching for that win, it is a tough place to go. Like we say, they are. We'll have confidence. It's not even just that last result. Like I said, there's strikers up there with top goal scorers. He's scoring. He's finding the back of the net, whereas ours at this moment in time are not. So I probably would take a draw going into it. But then, the game next week, I want to win that. Simple. I don't want to draw that. I don't want to obviously lose that. I want to win. Simple as that game next week. But yeah, that's that. We'll get into that nearer the time. But yeah, everyone else's score predictions. Obviously, we get into our goal scorers as well. Luton 2-1 says Paul. Morris and Chong to score. Morris to get off the mark. Chong to get second. Nice. That'd be nice if that was the case. David, I know he will be there. We were doing the fan cams, guys. He's gone 2-1 to Millwall, unfortunately. I can't even blame you, to be honest, at this moment in time. But yeah, I totally agree going into that game next week because I say we have to win that game. We have to win that game. Like with the way they're playing, who they got this weekend, QPR at home. Again, they've got to make their home form count really at the moment. But QPR, they'll be buzzing from that win against us. Fry, he's a good player as much as he done a fortnight dance at Kenilworth Road. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, there's that. Goal scorers. Oh, actually, before we do that, Jackie put us in earlier. She put high tide does. We'll have to watch later. My score will be 2-1 as well. Hopefully, we get off to a good start and kickstart our games. Yeah, I think we've got, what is it now, 4 or 5 games before the next international break, something like that. Probably. So, let's try and get some wins because I know there's one again literally next month. So, yeah, we'll see. But, yeah, it's 1 a.m. at the moment. A lot of pressure will be under him. Let's just say that. For me, like I say, like this game, if for me, it's more so the formation. It's and a plan B. That's what we need. We need to just have 2 up front, or like you say, Dad. If we go with that, I don't mind Morris up front. Because what I was going to say, actually, I nearly forgot to say it. When we beat Brighton 4-0, right? Elijah was actually where where you put him, Dad. Like behind, and Morris was actually up front, and Elijah scored a hat trick that game. So we've seen that it has worked, and Brighton are much better than Millwall. So it can work, but I don't know. I just got a feeling he might persist with it, like you say as well, Dad. But there will be pressure under him because I would say after that, yeah, no game's easy in the Championship, but they are slightly easier than this game.
The games would be winning if we're looking to get in the playoffs at least.
Yeah, like after this, right? We've got Sheffield Wednesday at home. They've been poor since the opening game of the season. We've got Plymouth away after that, which again they can't get off to a winning start yet. as it stands, and they've got Sunderland this weekend. I can't see them winning that. I'd be very surprised with the form Sunderland have been on. Yeah, it'll fall off at some point, probably. And it might be in a playoff battle instead of automatics or whatever. But still, they're doing well at the moment. So, yeah, and then I can't remember the games after Oxford. I mean, that'll be difficult because they've started off quite well. But
we should be big.
There's games there. Yeah, exactly. With our quality of our squad, we should be winning some of them games. Like, let's just be real. So there will be pressure on them. That's what we'll say. But yeah, that's that. Goal scorers. Well, I can't say any goal scorers because I've said 0-0. But your 2 goal scorers for us, then?
I'm going to say McGuinness and Morris.
Fair enough. I mean, McGuinness did get close to scoring, didn't he, against QPR?
He'll make up for his mistake, mate. He's a good player.
Yeah, he could do. Yeah, he could do. I could see that. And then Morris, yeah, hopefully, if he plays up front, then definitely I can't see no reason why he won't score. He could be sort of that Cornick replacement from the last game, I guess, in that sense, if we are to get a result there. But yeah, geez, I love the optimism, and that is optimistic.
We never know.
We
are capable.
Maybe next week.
Yeah.
But I don't know. No, I can't see it this week. Again, just with how it is at Millwall away anyway, taking away our form, just with how it is a difficult place to go, like we said. So, yeah, both gone for a draw in this game. Obviously, you've gone with an entertaining one, Dad. I've gone with a good 0-0. But, yeah, like I said, I would take a draw. But going into that game next week, I want to win that. No draws or anything else. I want to win that, simple as. But we'll get into that nearer the time, stuff like that. But Dad, any final things you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Just buy yourself a bar of Husky chocolate and enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was mainly at you, David. I don't have anyone else who's actually going that's currently watching. But if you are going, do try and enjoy it. Obviously, bring the atmosphere and stuff. I know as the 2 weeks have happened, fans have been trying to think of new chants for certain players, like Jordan Clark as well. So don't actually have a chant, which is still a bit mad, to be fair. But hopefully we've decided to make him one. Obviously, Harry did one yesterday of Moses, which put out earlier. Obviously, do check that one out. It'd be limbs if we actually got that popping, because I know that's actually had quite a decent reach, to be fair. But yeah, do check out the shorts I put out today. I put out 2. So yeah, big up. And like I say, David will be doing the fan cams as well. So if you are going, obviously do one as well if you can. That'd be great. And yeah, as for me, I'll be doing a watch along. So again, if you're not going, if you can tune into that, that'd be great. And then we'll be back again either on Sunday or Monday to do a reaction to this game. And then, yeah, we'll obviously preview the Sheffield Wednesday game. And me and you, Dad, we will be going to that game as well. So that'll be good. I'll be doing, fan cams there as well. So that'll be good. And then, yeah, that'll be good. And I don't know where we're sitting yet, but we'll find out 3 days before. So, yeah, I'll let you lot know from there on in when I know. By the next Hat Show, preview Hat Show, I'll know. So, yeah, man, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Don't forget to smash a like if you haven't already. Do subscribe. 2 new subscribers today as well. So do appreciate that. And then, yeah, follow me across all my socials as well. And, yeah, check out anything you haven't checked out on the channel. Like I say, shorts put out today. The championship show yesterday where we previewed all the games in depth. And, yeah, like I say, I'll be back again tomorrow with a watch along. So, yeah, and then there'll be the fan cams after. So do check all them out. And David's actually put the mic in his bag this time, so he won't actually forget. Do you know what I mean? He forgot like how Luton forgot to play in that second half, so against QPR. So hopefully that don't happen tomorrow either. But yeah, man. David said I will buy one regarding Husky chocolate. Oh dear. But yeah, I looked the other day actually, just quickly. That's not actually a sponsor anymore on their shirt anyway. Might still be a sponsor within the team, but
yeah,
that was interesting. There, but yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. And until tomorrow, I'll see you lot in a bit. Couple of days, but we'll see you in a bit. So yeah, David says in the bag, ready to go. So you know it's going to be there. Take care and peace. Hopefully get a result.